Welcome everyone, it's Nicola Cairncross. I was out yesterday being paid to go for lunch for someone, which was rather nice. And I was there in a capacity of an advisor for a potential new business. And during it, I was telling the story of how one of my best bosses ever, in fact, the only good boss I had pretty much, had always let you do pretty much what you want during the week, as long as you move forward towards his desired objectives. And the thing that you had to do before you went home on a Friday night, come hell or high water, was to send him a little report saying what worked, what didn't, and what's changing. Now, if you're a long running viewer of this channel, then you will know that I go through phases of doing this in public, but I always do it in private at the end of the week for myself. I remembered what a good plan it was, and I wondered why I'd stopped doing it. I thought that perhaps you guys were getting bored of it, but I think that it's a really good practice for any entrepreneur, business owner, any business startup, because it makes you realize whether you've moved forward that week. And I'm very much aware of my own business processes this week as well, because I've got a friend staying. I've been sharing stuff with her and she's been sharing stuff with me because she's a very talented filmmaker, director, producer. And I've been sharing our marketing ideas because she's never done any content marketing. She's always got all of her work through referrals. I've been sharing marketing stuff. She's been sharing film and editing stuff. Point being, I want to start doing more video again, and I want to test out the things she's teaching me, and I want to be consistent. What I thought I'd do was just rattle through what worked, what hasn't, and what's changing for my own business this week. And it's a good week to do it on because it's been a stonking week. So what did work? Well, client number one, who's been through my get it done process, he has sold out of his high ticket retreat in the Caribbean, to which I've been invited, all expenses paid, which is rather nice. And he has sold it out in literally 2 weeks of launching it. I've got to be absolutely transparent here. He has a massive mailing list, and he also is a brilliant writer, written 3 best-selling books, but he didn't know he was a writer until he wrote the first one, which was rather hilarious. And his writing style is colloquial and it's informal, and most traditional writers would probably turn in their graves if they could see it, but he changes people's lives. They read his books and it sounds like he's talking to them, and his retreats even more so. He breaks all the rules on retreats. This one's a 7-day retreat with trip one end beginning before we start and 2 trips after we finish. The guests are going to be there for at least sort of 8-9 days as well, perhaps even more if they want to stay on. He breaks all the rules for retreats. He breaks all the rules for writing. He breaks all the rules for, writing great long emails. He writes great long articles as well. It works. It builds the know, like, and trust factor. He changes people's lives. So when he went through this process of launching this product with me, the Get It Done process, we were seeing how much what I've learned about AI over the last year or two could help him in his business, and he was absolutely staggered. It wasn't so much that it took away things that he needed to do. It was more the fact that it amplified and leveraged the things he loves to do. And so he was able to reach a lot more people a lot more quickly with a very strong message. So that was very cool. And client number 2, who is the friend who's staying with me at the moment, I watched her get totally inspired about building her business this week. It was absolutely magical. I came across someone new this week, and I shared something with her that he had shared with us on his YouTube channel, and it just galvanized her into action. And it was absolutely wonderful to watch it. If you saw the last video, which was why I've restarted my newsletter, then you'll see that my editing style's changed. And absolutely, if you're watching this video today, the editing style on this is a little bit different. So I'm getting her to teach me one thing a week. I mean, she's got about 20 things she tells me to do to improve my videos, but I can't cope with more than one at a time. So we're doing one a week, because it's a pretty boring visual. I mean, I can't listen to anything unless I watch something. So I much prefer to watch a video, even if it is just a head and shoulders shot like this. But we're trying to make it more entertaining. She's also tested my new microphone for me. I bought it and it was still in the box. It was one of these ones, clip-on ones that you can use when you're out and about or when you're in a location not next to my computer, because I've got, obviously, this is my big sort of podcasting mic, but you can't carry that around, I can tell you that. Or you could, but you get very large muscles on just one arm. And so she's tested that out for me and made sure that it's working and all charged up and ready to go. So that's very cool. So who's this new guru I've come across then? He's a chap called Dan Koe, Koe, and YouTube showed him to me, and I was struck by the stark nature of the video. He's got head and shoulders videos, but they're even more plain, shall we say, than mine are. But oh my God, the quality of his content is quite amazing. And so I binge watched 3 or 4 of his videos last Sunday, and I was Very impressed, so much more so that I went straight onto Amazon and bought his book. And then he's got a bit of software which is of help to writers creating content, and I went and tried that out, and I think I then got an email about it, and I replied to the email saying, I don't think I've got access to this. And literally within 24 hours, a reply came back, and I said that I loved his videos and bought his book and all that stuff. And so the reply came back. I got the message back that he was very pleased indeed that he'd had that impact on me. And I said that I'd shared one of his videos with my friend who's staying, and that she was completely galvanized and inspired into action. So that must be nice for any writer to hear, don't you think? Or anyone who's making videos, that you've actually made a positive impact on two strangers' lives. I think I love it when I get lovely testimonial videos from people who've read my books or watched my videos. So I always try and give the same compliments to the people who affect me positively. The other thing that worked this week was I didn't catch Philippa's cold. His friend who's staying with me, she's had a really nasty cough and cold for the last couple of weeks. I managed not to catch it, and I think that's purely down to my vitamin regimen of supplement. So yes, I can thoroughly recommend, if you're not taking vitamin C, D and zinc, you should be. What didn't work this week? Well, I've been so busy with clients and joint ventures this last week that my own marketing has slipped a bit. I got into a really nice groove with it. It was really flowing well. I was creating all my content on Monday morning, or my written content anyway, and then it was going onto the blog automatically, and from there it was going onto social media, and then I was creating a video every week, and I was creating a podcast every week, and that was working really well. But it slipped this last week because I've been so busy, and then went out for lunch and all that stuff. So I've got to tighten things up. And watching my friend work, she's highly creative. She's also highly organised. So I've watched how she works, and she plans everything out on spreadsheets. I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with spreadsheets. I don't really like them very much, but I know that they are very good. I do use them for my cash flow, but I don't really use them. And I've got to start keeping track of my content, because otherwise I won't be able to reuse any of it, because it'll all be everywhere and I'd have to scroll back through a year's worth of content, which ain't no fun when you're doing it daily, let me tell you that. The other thing that didn't work this week was trying out using auto cue. Finally managed. It's one of those days where you're trying every little bit of kit in every which combination and every software you've got, and I was trying to get to the point where I didn't need to use my notepad looking down occasionally on bullet points or a mind map. That's where you can actually see, look, bullet points and a mind map. So I was trying to use auto cue to see if I could get more polished at reading my blog posts out loud and recording that, because that's something I'd really like to do, but I'm rubbish at reading from auto cue. There is absolutely no animation in me at all when I'm doing that. So I think just working from bullet points and being spontaneous seems to be the way forward for me, that's for sure. What's changing as a result of this week? I'm going to get more organised. I've got to create the content. I've got to put it into a folder on my drive. I've got to put it into the spreadsheet and a link to the content in the drive, so I can repurpose it, reuse it. If it does particularly well, I can run it again next year. So I just get so impatient with the organisation of it. I just want to get on and do without noting and annotizing and doing all that dull stuff. But I know that I've got to tighten up my systems, because when I get busier, even more clients than I've got now, and working with people in my Get It Done program, which is ironic really, because you'd think that I could get it done with my own spreadsheets, wouldn't you? But that doesn't seem to be the case. But the Get It Done program is helping people eliminate procrastination and eliminate perfectionism, so that they can actually get something done, like my 2 clients have this week. And so I've really got to tighten up my system, so that when I get busier, which I will in the new year because I'm ramping up my marketing, then I will be able to not let my own content marketing slip. And I think that's a big challenge for everybody out there who's working with clients and who is doing their own marketing. I'll see you here same time, same place next week with what worked, what didn't, and what's changing. See you soon.